Hey, what is going on, guys? Lee Sanders here from the RCWR Show. We are coming at you guys with a special Monday night edition for April 1st, 2019. It's not an April Fool's joke. We're actually on a Monday night. We're going to be with you guys for the next 2 Mondays. So this is our first one. And the next time we're going to be live one Monday is the following Monday, one night removed from WrestleMania. If you are a long-time RCWR Show listener, fan of the show, you know that when it comes to WrestleMania week, I do my very best to give you guys the hookup, but we're switching it up a little bit different this year. As many of you longtime listeners know, I've been doing this for you guys, entertaining you since 2011, and we're doing something very different this year. For the first time ever, I'm going to be checking out the other promotions that's going to be doing their thing during WrestleMania week as well. And there's going to be lots and lots of coverage that's going to be coming out as a result. So for those of you that maybe are sitting out on the WWE WrestleMania this year, and maybe you want to hear about some alternatives, maybe you want to hear about some promotions you've kind of had your eye on for a little bit, but you haven't really given them a chance, I'm definitely going to have the front row seat hookup for you guys. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, you do subscribe. Especially you new subscribers, welcome. We're covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond, and been doing this since 2011. So do subscribe. And if you happen to be checking this out via YouTube, make sure you hit that bell notification so you always know about new and upcoming content. It makes a lot of sense for me to go ahead and talk about this particular Raw because we are based out here in Washington, D.C. I had an opportunity to get a hold of some tickets. Actually, somebody had hit me up. It was 2 scenarios, actually. The first scenario, I actually was going to get some tickets and I was going to try to go. I actually was going to pay for a nosebleed seat ticket. But then I said, nah, that's okay. And then a friend of a friend who knows I do wrestling and a podcast had gave me an offer, and it was free. All I had to do was just show up and everything. But I said, nah, I'm okay. Now, if it would have been an NXT event or something of that nature, I definitely would have signed up for that bad boy. But I just really did not, I just didn't feel like I really needed to be at this show. And it damn sure doesn't help when DC's own Dave Batista, I happened to see him last year at AwesomeCon. If you're following me on social media, you saw the results as far as the meet and greet I did. Also took part in his Q&A. We made that audio of the Q&A be available on YouTube. I think the audio is also available. Yes, it's also available on our Patreon page as well. So as far as, okay, well, you get to see Batista, and it was, I had the next best thing. I saw him in person. I chatted with him for several minutes. But then it was, well, what about Kurt Angle? This is Kurt Angle's last rodeo. What about, and I still wasn't just really feeling it. So for me, I passed on attending. And here in DC, and DC, Maryland, Virginia residents can back me up on this, the transit system out here is crappy. I'm talking about, in particular, the Metro Rail. It sucks because whenever WWE has been doing their events here in DC, I'm telling you, with the way that Metro Rail hours operate now, the service cuts off at 11 p.m. sharp. So if you are not on that last train that is heading out from Gallery Place, Chinatown, if you're not on that last train, or Metro Center or whatever the stop is that's closest to, I lost track of what that arena is called now. I remember it was the Verizon Center. I don't know what the hell they're calling it now, but if you don't catch that last train, you're pretty much screwed. You can pretty much forget about it. It's over. You're going to have to catch an Uber, or you're going to have to catch a Lyft, and that's it. And that's going to cost some serious money if you don't have no car, depending on where you're going, you know. So ain't nobody really trying to be throwing money out there like that. So I enjoyed checking out this Raw to a degree from the comfort of my own home, but I gotta be candid with you all. It felt very lackluster. It really did not, and I think that's been a recurring theme for the past several weeks now on this road to WrestleMania. It just has not felt WrestleMania-ish, and it's quite it's quite sad and it's most peculiar because any other year that you can think of with regards to WrestleMania season, hey, a lot to be excited about. Oh man, can't wait for this WrestleMania season. But this has to be that first time where you're legit going, I'm just not excited. I'm not, where's the extra incentive here, But we're going to keep it simple tonight. We're just going to talk about WWE Raw. A lot of cool stuff we got as far as programming. So stay with me. We'll talk about the rest of the programming lineup we got coming up for the rest of the week. Yes, to those of you that's wondering if we're going to be doing a Tuesday night show, there will be a Tuesday night show as well, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. Okay, so my God, it's been extremely rare. I've done a Raw recap. I think normally what we do for you guys, we go all over the place, right? We usually cover the full card when we used to do this, right? It's been some years. You guys got to bear with me, all right? Let me approach it this way. Just freestyling here off the break. The way Raw had opened up, I enjoyed that. That was actually a pretty good opener, I would have to say. Minus Stephanie McMahon coming out and making the announcement that it was going to be a winner-take-all at the main event match at WrestleMania. So basically, to kind of play up on what we talked about last week, remember, I had said, and we just made the radio show excerpt be available on the YouTube channel. Remember what I said last week on Tuesday's show? I said, man, what an interesting dynamic that you have going on here. Now that Charlotte Flair is the SmackDown Women's Champion, you got Asuka all out there in the cold now. Pretty much safe to assume not going to be an instant rematch for that homegirl, so you can't put her in there and try to make it be a fatal four-way. Okay, what do you do with this situation? And I basically had said, well, you could do either two scenarios. You guys remember the first scenario that I had put out there to you guys? I said, well, they could go on ahead and they can make this be a winner take all, right? Whoever walks out of there has both titles. And then as a result of that, they're going on both brands. They're just all over the place for the next little bit until they lose one of those titles. You could do it that way, right? And then the other scenario that I had was, well, you could always just fuse both titles and then just have one undisputed women's champion running around on both brands. You could do it like that, but I lean more towards a winner take all, just have both titles and they just go on both shows. Just do it like that. So to see how things had played out per the announcement of Stephanie McMahon, and I get that, right? I get that whole marketing because you think of the whole women's evolution and all that, and somehow, you're right, that's a different topic for another time, but somehow we got to put Stephanie McMahon all in there. She's got to be the face of the women's revolution and everything. She's got to be the one to make the announcement. Okay, all right, cool. Me personally, I really did not care for that opening to Raw. I could have done without it. Honestly, I wish it would have been a case where Raw would have opened up, Michael Cole in the game. They would have just said, hey guys, here's what you had missed just a couple of minutes before we went on the air. Check out what Stephanie McMahon had to say about the triple threat match for the women that's going to be closing out WrestleMania this year. Check out what she had to say. And if they kind of would have just done it that way, that would have sufficed. I always have a serious bone to pick whenever I see certain promotions like WWE. They do certain things that, okay, you couldn't just do this for the crowd to really just get them pumped up and then just go right into the wrestling action. I mean, I guess in retrospect, you can say to a degree, well, that was kind of exciting news if you wanted to kick off Raw, because many people were wondering ever since last week's SmackDown what exactly now was going to be happening with that main event match. But on the contrary, if I could have set that up a little bit easily, I would have teased it. I actually would have had Raw open up, you go into your in-ring action, and then all throughout the night, what is going on? Stephanie McMahon, she's supposed to be making some type of a blockbuster announcement with regards to the women's main event match at WrestleMania. What do you think Stephanie McMahon is going to say? We'll know later on tonight. I think that should have been the hook, line, and sinker. Capitalize on the buzz. After all, you've got 3 hours that you got to kill. And I got to tell you, just overall, looking at how this show was set up, there was a lot of instances where you saw key bright spots and you couldn't help but wonder, well, why didn't WWE go on ahead and stretch that out a little further? You got 3 hours to kill. Why push everything out in the first 90 minutes or whatever? And now the viewers are basically, all right, well, I've seen all the good stuff, so screw it. So that announcement by Stephanie, they should have milked that for all it's worth. I think now that I've laid it out there like that, you definitely would all be in agreement with me, right? So you get her announcement out of the way. Okay, all right, good. After that, you pretty much go into your first in-ring action of the night, which was fairly decent, I would have to say. It was a talking segment, but it got physical. So for me, it was actually good. We saw Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar come on out there. Again, nice placement. I would say to kick off Raw. Okay, I'm down with that. That's actually good. Paul Heyman going through the usual spiel. Seth Rollins going toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar. Now, I'm going to have to rely on you guys a little bit. Was this the first time that Lesnar and Seth Rollins shared the ring together at the same time? I'm going to have to rely on you guys because my memory is a little bit fuzzy right now. And the only reason why I'm posing that question was because I couldn't help but really look at Seth Rollins and size him up with Brock Lesnar. And I don't know why, but I thought for a reason Rollins was going to be much smaller than I anticipated. And just to see him nose to nose with Lesnar, I couldn't help but say, well, damn, Seth Rollins is he's a pretty big boy, you know, height-wise and all that. He's pretty filled out, and he legit looks like he could probably hold his own for a little bit against Lesnar. He legitimately does. So I was quite taken back by that. I guess for some weird reason, I kind of had Seth Rollins just in that Finn Balor type of physical mode when matched up with Lesnar head to head, right? So for me, that really took me back by surprise. I'm not really sure if that kind of took you all off surprise too, if you had made that same observation, but I kind of liked the little bit of chemistry that they had going on there, even though Lesnar did not say anything. Pretty much the whole spiel of why Seth Rollins sees this match for the Undisputed Championship being important come WrestleMania weekend, how he has to do everything in his power to get that title off of Lesnar. WWE Universe does not like Lesnar. The locker room does not like Lesnar. So all of those respected reasons and the type of crappy champion that Lesnar is, pretty much Seth Rollins going through the whole usual spiel. But it was nice to see a case where Lesnar looks at Seth Rollins, thinks of him as a joke, looks at him being very insignificant, just walks past him like, you ain't nothing, kid. You're not even worth my time. I'm out of here. Keep hyping yourself up. Just give him that nice little tackle shoulder. And I love how Seth Rollins just came right back at that guy. I love that, from the two low blows and then following up with a nice good super kick to the face and all that, and then the curb stomp. I loved all that. For me, that sent a very powerful message that by any means necessary, Rollins is going to do whatever he needs to do to take that Universal Championship off of Lesnar. I love that. I ate that up big time, because after all, when you're facing a guy like Brock Lesnar, you could pretty much forget about the playbook. You pretty much got to throw it all out there. It's all or nothing at all, right? So I love that we saw that interesting dynamic coming from Rollins to Lesnar tonight. Not to mention, you needed that. You needed to give the fans walking away, and still people that have their doubts as far as, okay, I'm not exactly sold on a Rollins and Lesnar. It's just not really matching up to me. I gotta tell you, watching these two men in the ring and just sizing them up, okay, yes, legit, I could see a case where Rollins could, all right. And, you know, to WWE's credit, they've done a phenomenal job in, okay, well, look at Brock Lesnar taking on Daniel Bryan. Look at Lesnar taking on AJ Styles. Look at Lesnar taking on Finn Balor. So they've already had this respected track record
of having Lesnar face smaller guys, and he's done really fantastic matches against those guys. So to see it all culminate in Rollins, Lesnar, and you needed to have Rollins walk away with a bit of an edge going into WrestleMania, that was well booked. I enjoyed that very thoroughly. They did a good job with that. That was a really good bright spot. So I'll give them kudos on that one. First official match of the night, we had Nia Jax, Tamina Snuka, Peyton Royce, and Billie Kay taking on Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. Decent tag match. Winners coming out of that was Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. I got to home in a little bit on Beth Phoenix. This was really the first time we were able to see her in her old in-ring gear. And we've always known over the years that Beth Phoenix, since she's been retired as an in-ring competitor, she's always done, for the most part, a good job in staying in shape. But I do remember there was a period where she significantly lost all of her muscle mass, body mass, and all that. And she just had this, okay, she's obviously made the transition out of being an in-ring performer, and she is now just enjoying a nice, quiet civilian life. But then I would say probably within the past 2, maybe 2.5, possibly 3 years tops, she has gotten back that old build that we remember, and she is not 100% close to where she was not last when we saw her. Well, you know what? No, I would actually say she is about close to how we remember her last. But if you remember vintage Beth Phoenix, yeah, we could be in agreement. She's nowhere near the classic build, but she's definitely pretty much right where she was when we last saw her as a regular in-ring competitor. I'm amazed. I think she's done phenomenally well for herself physically. That is a big girl. I didn't realize until later years, and tonight it really had dawned on me just how thick. I'm sorry, I did not mean to say thick and then go in the chest. I didn't mean to do it like that, so forgive me, because I wasn't even thinking about her chest. I'm amazed at how thick that she is. That's a whole lot of woman. That's a big girl. That is a big girl. So, you know, I've always had a soft spot for Beth Phoenix, so it always puts a smile on my face every time I see her. Look, could she still throw it down? Yeah, without a shadow of doubt. I mean, come on, she's not that old, all right? She's not even old at all. She's only 38. That's still pretty young. Now, as far as in wrestling years, though, 38, okay, you're pretty much, you know, in your 40s now. You're pretty much in your late 40s in wrestling years, right? Especially when you look at how long she's been going at it. And honestly, if this is her, I'm going to enjoy it for what it's worth. I don't want to speculate on if this is going to be a regular thing with her or if she's going to be around for the next little bit. I'm not going to speculate on that, because if you would have asked me personally, just as a fan, Lee, what would you like to see of Beth Phoenix in the future? I honestly still feel that she has a very bright future as a broadcaster. I liked what she's been doing so far, and I dare say if WWE is ever considering entertaining the idea of maybe moving Renee Young, and I don't know, maybe moving her over to SmackDown possibly, pair her up with Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. Of course, that means, okay, well, what do you do with Tom Phillips, right? Much as I like Tom Phillips, different topic for another time, but you got to do some type of a shakeup with the SmackDown crew, I personally feel. But if I'm WWE and if I'm ever entertaining the idea of moving Renee Young, I'm giving strong consideration to Beth Phoenix, because when you just compare where Renee is right now, all right, look, this ain't no bashing session, all right? At some point in our respective careers, and this ain't long and winded, all right? This is to the point. At some point in our respective careers, we come across a job where, wow, this is a little bit over my head. Wow, I need a little bit more training. It's obvious that I don't quite grasp all of this just yet. There's nothing wrong with, okay, I need to scale back a little bit. And, you know, I'm not quite ready for this. There's nothing wrong with that. I always say it's better to be vocal, speak up, and plead your case then later on you get fired because the boss feels you're incompetent, right? If you feel you need more training or whatever, but some people, it's a pride thing. They're not going to jump out there. They're not going to say that because for some, they don't want to jeopardize their position. They don't want to jeopardize their pay. So to each its own. I always say it's a case-by-case basis. I think it depends on how comfortable you are with your employer. If you know that you can talk in confidence like that and there's not going to be some type of silly ramifications where, all right, you no longer have that job, right? You don't have any job. You're just out on your ass, right? So for Renee, she needs a lot more work. And that really says a lot, that for all the years that she has been made a pet project for the WWE, here comes Beth Phoenix. And yeah, early on, very but you heard the potential. And to just see where she is now and her commentating, I'm impressed. I continue to be impressed with her. So there's a selfish part of me that would love to see her continue to advance further into broadcasting. I think she would do phenomenally well. As far as the in-ring career goes, I mean, she's pretty much done it all, right? So for a person that's done it all, is already in the Hall of Fame, why go back? And unless you're trying to create new memories for your kids, unless you're trying to do something like that for just a hot little minute, a hot short window, okay, well, all right, do what you got to do. But I think the money for her is definitely in the broadcasting. So we'll see how everything plays out after WrestleMania is all said and done. Moving right along, from that moment, we saw Apollo Crews take on Jinder Mahal. There were lumberjacks that were surrounding this ring. This was pretty much a preview of what we were going to be seeing at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, as the participants that were lumberjacks surrounding this ring, they all were going to be taking part in this WrestleMania match coming up. Trophy was at display. Apollo Crews defeating Jinder Mahal. I laugh, but I shook my head in disbelief, because to think that not that long ago, Jinder Mahal was a WWE champion. Say what you will, whatever controversy you want to put out there, but just really stop and marinate on that for a second. At one point, this guy was the WWE champion, and now he's a joke. It's quite sad. It's really quite sad. And of all people, just Apollo Crews beating him pretty much with ease. I'm moving on from that, because that for me was just a black guy. That for me was a serious black guy. Anyway, Kurt Angle came out, got a huge reception from the DC crowd. By the way, I got to give the DC crowd a lot of credit. I saw a little bit of hating online towards the DC crowd. Oh, the DC crowd is dead tonight. These guys, are they not entertained? Right, let me tell you something. As a DC native, and I've been to a couple of Raw events, all right, let me tell you something. If DC ain't feeling you, they let you know about it. Straight up, they let you know about it. They tell you what they like. They have that rich wrestling appreciation. Remember, when the McMahons got started, the DMV was one of their first territories that they were giving us the wrestling, Capital Championship Wrestling. All right. So DC has a long, rich history with the McMahon family. All right. And I'm telling you, just like New York, just like Philly, just like Chicago, just like Jersey, DC are some smart ass fans as well. They know their shit. They know their product. The DC fans know their NXT. All right. So as far as I was concerned, the show was good. As far as the crowd reaction, everything was good. Just kind of playing it back in my mind. They were okay with Stephanie. They honestly did not care for Apollo Crews and Jinder Mahal. I mean, you could pretty much hear a pin drop, and rightfully so. I mean, that's pretty consistent with any other time that you see these guys, right? So, it's kind of sad, because it's all about the Andre trophy, right? The Battle Memorial coming up at WrestleMania, but it is what it is, right? But Kurt Angle coming out, oh, DC gave him a lot of love, and any of you that saw Raw tonight, you saw the great standing ovation and cheers that they gave him. A lot of fond memories of Kurt Angle. I have definitely going back and forth with my friends over the years, because my friends watched as many WWE pay-per-views and then some that I wasn't able to watch, and they hipped me to it. So some of those pay-per-views that I didn't know about. So a lot of love, a lot of appreciation for Kurt Angle. That was a nice video package that they did for him. Kurt Angle, his little tribute parade there got interrupted by Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin catching a ton of heat. And I kind of got to go back to what I had said on last week's show with regards to Corbin. And I get everybody feeling the way that they feel, but you know what? You got to give the devil his due. Not only is Corbin getting better, right? In-ring performer, on the mic, he still needs to work on some things. And it's those things that we touched upon on last week's show. I'm not going to rehash all that over again, but there are things that he still needs to work on. But you know me, if you've been a long time listener, what's the number one thing that I always say? Your number one job as a performer, especially in that ring, you need to go out there. You need to get some type of a reaction, be it good, be it bad. As long as they are reacting towards you, that gives you longevity. And he continues to have that longevity despite looking like a goddamn valet, a freaking waiter and all that. I still believe we're going to get a curveball at WrestleMania. I still believe something's going to happen. If not, John Cena comes to the day and it's Kurt Angle versus John Cena. Somebody that, okay, we think it's Cena, but turns out it's actually this person. And hey, all right, this is even better than Cena. I still have that vibe. So we'll see. We'll see what happens at WrestleMania. If it doesn't happen, then you know what? We'll be right here WrestleMania night. We'll be talking about it, right? If it happens to be Baron Corbin, hopefully he will really rise to the occasion. And the two of them will have a type of match that will have us come back and say, you know what? Has to be the one rare time. I got to give Baron Corbin a lot of credit. He really put it all out there on the line. We'll see. Let's wait and see, right? But nice video package. Nice reaction that the crowd gave to Kurt Angle. A lot of good love, a lot of good appreciation right there. Good stuff. That was good stuff. So from there, we had our Raw Tag Team title match. Ricochet, Aleister Black taking on the Revival. Revival got to do some goddamn better coordinating, man. They hurt my eyes tonight. They were wearing, check this out. They were wearing sky blue licorice looking tights that had yellow text on them and some white coloring. And then they had white boots on. They had black sports jackets that was dominated also in red, and my eyes was hurting, man. The color coordination was just way off on that big time. I was not feeling the coordination. It was brutal. You guys got to coordinate like John Witherspoon. Coordinate better, man. Seriously. Somewhere in here, Batista had showed up. It was definitely during the first hour from what I remember. We kind of jumped a little bit. I think Batista popped up right after the whole Beth Phoenix, Natty, Banks, and Bailey, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Batista, short and sweet. And that's kind of how I was able to just kind of go past that, because it was really short and sweet. He comes out. Huge reaction to Dave Batista. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of people whose lives have been touched by Dave Batista here in the DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. We call it the DMV out here. So much so that you hear stories from people that know Dave Batista. I have friends that, you know, either were friends at one point with Dave Batista or a friend of a friend that knows. So you hear so many cool stories about Batista. Of course, the main one being how he used to be a bouncer out here at a couple of clubs and everything. And I got to tell you, when I was covering last year's Awesome Con, to see the lines of how many people were showing up for Dave Batista, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And let alone his lines for photo op and autograph signing. Those lines were freaking ridiculous. If you thought, okay, I'm being slick, I'm gonna jump in the line 2 hours early because I'm smart like that. Nah. You already had a boatload of people that already were, some of them, and it was so funny because there were some people that I had talked to last year that were trying to get in on the Batista Q&A and everything. You had some people that had pretty much showed up as like a couple of hours before Awesome Con had opened. And then they just went right for the Q&A line. Okay, where's the Q&A line? And they just went right for it immediately, even though it was, I'm trying to think, because I think his Q&A was on a Sunday. Yes, it was on a Sunday. And I think his Q&A started at, God, I want to say maybe it started at 1. And I remember we got there, me and the missus, I remember we got there probably at 11. But I think the doors might have opened at 10. And the lines it was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous when it was all said and done. And as soon as you were done with the Q&A, you knew he was immediately going over to sign autographs. And you had to be quick about it. So you literally had to two-step it and kind of jog your way. Because if you run, the security's go, hey, watch out now, what you doing? So you had to literally two-step it over to the autograph signing. And I remember we got there like just in time. But I mean, my God, the line must have, of all the autograph signings just for the whole weekend, his lines were the longest. So point being, DC, they got a lot of love for Dave Batista. And you know what? I felt really happy as a longtime Dave Batista fan that he got the type of reaction that he had got from DC tonight, because seeing when he had first popped up a couple of weeks back, he did not get that ovation. He did not get that welcome back. And I just did not understand what was going on with that crowd. Like, for me, it was, wow, we waste a Batista return on this city because it's not clicking. You can see Batista when you go back. This is my challenge to you guys. Go back, and hopefully you can find a version that hasn't been edited in any type of way. Because I know by the time it gets on Hulu and all of that, WWE usually pipes in the crowd and all that. But hopefully on YouTube, maybe still floating around the uncensored, uncut version, you can see Batista physically trying to, okay, what's going on with these guys? It's like, I haven't been back in, what the hell? And he just did not get that. So to see him get the type of reactions he had got in DC tonight, I loved it. But he kept it short and sweet. Showed a video package of all the times he beat the living hell out of Triple H. He's like, you've done everything in your career. You just keep hearing that soundbite over and over again. You've done everything in your career except beat me. And they just keep showing Batista beating the holy crap out of Triple H. And only thing Batista says, Hunter, kiss my ass. Drops the mic, rolls out. Short, simplistic, on point. I love that. You ain't need to do nothing else. I love that. I thought for sure there was going to be some type of a rebuttal from the game himself, Triple H, but no Triple H tonight. It was very weird, and I couldn't help but go, wait a minute, this is the WrestleMania Go Home show, and we're not going to have Hunter and Batista collide? What the hell? So that was pretty weird. Maybe to make up, I don't know if maybe Hunter will say something on SmackDown, or maybe if he'll say something. I know normally he does the NXT TakeOver conference calls on or Facebook Live or something like that. Maybe he'll say a little something, because, you know, it's kind of been his trademark. After NXT TakeOver event concludes, he pops up, talks about what happened with the event. So maybe he'll somehow be able to work in what Batista had said on Raw. We'll wait and see on that one. Try to see what else had came about from Raw tonight. So we told you about some of the other matches. What else? Riot Squad. All three members, they had took on Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey. A lot of friction on the side of those three girls that's going to be fighting each other for the winner takes all titles this Sunday. Ronda Rousey had a little bit of extra swag and cuteness going on tonight. She just kind of had this body language going on, like she really did not want to be there. You know, she wasn't impressed with what her tag team partners were doing. We see at one point Becky Lynch, Charlotte, miscommunication. They start arguing. Next thing you know, Ronda Rousey, she tags herself in there. she pretty much had applied a submission move on, who was it? I want to say maybe it was Liv. Yes, it was on Liv. Made her tap out pretty much instantly. And from there, all hell broke loose. All the girls, they just started beating the holy shit out of each other and everything. Just hilarious stuff. We ended up, it got so bad, we ended up seeing DC police come out. And if you're following me on Twitter, I had said, hey guys, those DC uniforms, those are real. Like, home in on the symbols, you know, it's like, you know, I should know, you know, they're in my backyard. So it's kind of nice that DC Mayor Muriel Bowser, she gave WWE a little bit of a hookup there or whatever. So I wonder if maybe those might have been some rookie police officers in training or whatever that, you know, somehow they were able to spare to the WWE or whatever. What got me though was that whole fallout. It got so bad with those three girls. You had police put them all in handcuffs, and you're like, oh man, this is intense. You go to a backstage segment where things really pick up, and these girls, even though they're handcuffed, right, all of them are handcuffed, they all are trying to still just fight the hell out of each other. I love the animosity, and there was just something kind of hot about it at the same time, quite honestly. Now, a little bit of stupidity comes into play. There's a black car where I want to say, maybe it was, you guys got to forgive me because I can't remember who was in the black car, but I want to say maybe Rhonda was already in the black car or something like that. And one of the girls got put in the black car. That wasn't smart because they're both looking at each other and they're kicking the shit out of each other. Love that spot. And it's like, okay, that wasn't smart. Like, the way you guys should have did it, you should have had one person be in the back with a police officer sitting behind, and then you should have the driver up front, and then you have the other person that is going downtown sitting shotgun, and then put the last person in the squad car and do it that way. But that was not how it went down, and that was kind of comical. I didn't really care too much about it. I still just wanted to get lost in the moment, but I just love seeing the hatred, the animosity that these three women have towards each other, and how they just kept trying to kick the living shit out of each other. One of the girls, I think it was the black car. Yeah, the black car had got sacrificed because somebody had kicked the windows out. And that was a nice little spot too, but eventually they got them all somehow in those squad cars and took them downtown. Apparently they were arrested. Michael Cole and the gang said they weren't really sure what the charges were that was going to be happening. So you hear that and you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. But come on, we're still going to have the WrestleMania match, right? So, like, come on, what the hell, right? That spot in particular should have closed out Monday Night Raw, but it didn't. It did not close out Monday Night Raw. Instead, what closed out Monday Night Raw was a match between Rey Mysterio and Baron Corbin. You know, Kurt Angle, he put a challenge on out there earlier. He had said to Baron Corbin, hey, how about a tune-up match? Me and you later on tonight. Baron, no. You're not using your intelligence, because if I face you now, ain't going to be no match at WrestleMania by the time I get done with you. No. I'll wait for you. I'll wait a couple of days. I got you at Mania, no problem. But then Rey Mysterio comes out, and I didn't like how that had came off either, because you hear the music of Rey Mysterio, and I've got to be the only one that is still picturing the William Shatner interpretation of the Rey Mysterio song. Booyaka! 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 Rey Mysterioso. Fucking Rey. I love William Shatner, man. It was so weird because you hear the music of Rey Mysterio and you see him come out. Baron Corbin actually is intimidated by Rey Mysterio. I bullshit you now. You gotta go back and play that. It's those little things that make you go, all right, dude, I see you coming along, right? It's like, so you see this little dwarf just running down the ramp, and you're going, okay, all right, Baron's got this. Baron's probably gonna kick his head off, clothesline him or whatever, make his way to the backstage area, no problem. No, he actually is intimidated by Rey Mysterio, so much so he runs into the ring. right? Where he's looking at Kurt Angle is now it's kind of like a 2-on-1, but what ends up happening is Rey Mysterio challenges Baron Corbin to a tune-up match before Baron faces Angle, and it's a tune-up match for Rey Mysterio because remember, Rey's going to be taking on Samoa Joe for the United States title, right? So they both had a bit of a tune-up match there, right? Hey, Gino, what's up, Gino? Shout out for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate you. How you been, brother? So it was good. It was good stuff that they did there. That was very... It's the little things. It's little things like that. See, I know there's a lot of hate on Baron Corbin. And like I said on the show last week, there's some areas where he needs to improve. And I gave those areas where he needs improvement. But he's coming along. And you know what? It's those little things like Rey Mysterio running down. Here's a guy that's like 5'1", 5'2", right? You could easily just have Baron Corbin. Man, that little dude ain't nothing. But no, he chicken shits and he backs into the ring, right? Love that. It's those little things that make you go, okay, all right, I see you coming along, brother. I see you coming along. We were talking about Kurt Angle earlier, and if you've seen the title of this, I guess we could what's the word I'm looking for? We can, not transfer, transition. Yes, the transition. So I don't think this is an April Fool's joke. Right? But apparently, and you'll have to let me know if it is an April Fool's joke, right? But apparently, Cody Rhodes put out a tweet and he said, it's true, it's damn true. Kurt Angle is coming to Starrcast 2. And this just lit social media up. Now, I couldn't help but look at that news and I didn't sadly have enough time to find out if at any time Kurt Angle had put this announcement out there himself, if he shared the news first. So I would have to rely on you guys before we end the stream to let me and everybody else know in the comments. But let's just say for the sake of the argument, because part of me looked at this and I couldn't help but go, well, damn. Like, did Kurt Angle and Cody agree that, okay, during Raw, I'm going to make the announcement? Because that just looks really, really, but there's part of me that's hoping that's not real, that it's just an April Fool's joke, right? And that it'd be a damn good April Fool's joke at that. But I don't think it is. And it's, I tell you, if you're WWE, you're looking at this and you're going, wow, we're giving this guy a nice, decent run on the way out of here. And wow, he's going to fucking Starrcast, huh? So that is just, I'm already thinking about how things had ended up with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho had said in a recent interview that, oh yeah, I did something with Xavier Woods for Up, Up, Down, Down, and WWE, they removed that. They also removed some other stuff upon taking me out of the graphic intro, and so apparently, according to Jericho, he's on a list. He made a shit list, unfortunately, right? And it's so weird because when you make your rounds and you look at all of the other wrestling news sites and everything, nobody has picked up on Cody Rhodes saying that Kurt Angle is heading to AEW. Nobody has picked up on that just yet. So I don't know, guys. Was that an April Fool's joke as far as you know, or you guys in the chat, are you seeing that this is legit news right now? Because Cody Rhodes put it out on Twitter. He put it out at, I want to say it was about 10:13 p.m. Eastern that he had put the tweet out. Definitely right at about the 10:30-ish mark on the East Coast. He had put that tweet out. So I shared it with you guys all throughout social media. Look, it's just a Starrcast event. It's, I would think, very similar, damn similar to what's going on with The Undertaker, right? I mean, look, these guys, they got to continue to bring in some type of money somehow. All right. Why are we being petty with these guys? If they got the opportunities to go out there and make some extra money, Kurt Angle, he's got kids. He's got to take care of. You know, some of these kids eventually they're gonna be going to college and everything. So he's got to get all that money. Get it while you can. I mean, why would you not? Right? You're a WWE Hall of Famer. You got all of this good stuff that's going on here, right? Why not? Go for it. Make that money. So make it. Trying to see what else. I think that might be it. Let me just see what else had happened. Chad Gable, Bobby Roode losing to Heavy Machinery. I honestly couldn't care about that one. Really? This happened? This actually happened? Wow. Apparently there was a 1-on-2 handicap match. Braun Strowman versus Michael Shea and Colin Joss. Yeah, apparently we go to the ring. Braun Strowman comes out for a handicap. Oh, okay. It's coming back to me now. All right. So let me set this up properly. So Braun Strowman, he's in a backstage segment. And he just happens to walk up on Tyler Breeze and EC3. Tyler Breeze, by the way, he's got a new haircut. Looks pretty good on him. All the ladies are going crazy. I get it. You've seen a guy with, you know, good looks, long, pretty hair. You've seen it for such a long period of time. And now when you see him, oh my God, he's cut his hair. It's short and it's dark, right? So the girls are going crazy about it right now. They love it, but some are pretty upset that he lost the locks, right? Hopefully he donated those locks to a worthy cause if it was long enough. Kind of looked like he did last we had saw. Anyway, they happened to make a joke with some girl that was interviewing them backstage. I can't remember her name right now because it just, the faces, it kept switching up. So it was kind of hard to keep track of who was interviewing who throughout the night. And those guys made a reference to the SNL, talking about how they were funny this past weekend. Strowman comes up, asked them what they were laughing about. He goes, oh, you know, nothing. We were just laughing at a joke that those guys over there had said. So Strowman walks up to these two jabronis, and he pretty much called them Michael Shea and Colin Joss, right? So he pretty much had a 2-on-1 handicap match against them, beat the crap out of them. Honestly, I could care less about this particular matchup that's going to be happening. I know they're going to be participating in the Andre the Giant Memorial, but I honestly could give two shits not about these guys, and they're honestly couldn't. I just, you know, if it was John Belushi and Chris Farley or something like that, or Phil Hartman and Dana Carvey, or frick, give me Wayne's World, right? Give me Mike Myers and give me Dana Carvey, right? If it was something like that, I think this would be a lot more entertaining. But it's not, and whatever. It sucks. Freaking sucks. Main event match was Baron Corbin taking on Rey Mysterio. Nobody should be surprised that Baron Corbin had picked up the W. He kind of needed that going into WrestleMania. He should have always had some type of a tune-up match, as well as Kurt Angle was having. Remember how when we finally got the announcement Kurt Angle was going to be having these retirement tour matches, and how it first began with crappy matches, and you're going, well, this doesn't make any sense. And then we finally started getting some good ones, right? Rey Mysterio at the end. Before that, we had got AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and you know, you had the opportunity to do Daniel Bryan, but somehow that slipped through the cracks there. Travesty. But they've always should have done some type of a tune-up or 2 or 3 with Baron Corbin these past few weeks as well. And when I say tune-up matches, like the fact that Baron took on Rey Mysterio. Okay, Rey Mysterio, a former WWE champion, a former World Heavyweight champion. Okay, that's great. Then you go to the rest of the card, right? Okay, well, you know, who else on there could Baron Corbin face off against, right? Who else could he face? Looking at the rest of the roster, just thinking of the names that's on there, you know, at one point, you could have maybe had Dean Ambrose slide on in there, right? Another notable name that was missing from tonight's Raw, no Dean Ambrose. I'm telling you, so many things about this show for Go Home to WrestleMania did not feel like a Mania go home show. It just felt very okay, standard. By the way, speaking of standard and Raw and everything, I got the poll that's up right now. It's on YouTube. I should have said that at the very top. You guys got to forgive me, but you can head on over to the communities tab on the YouTube channel and you can cast your vote that way. And I've also made that poll be available on Twitter and Facebook as well. And it's still early. I should have really promoted it at the beginning for the YouTube, but we'll definitely follow up on the polling results on Tuesday's show. But I can't tell you the Twitter results because I had put that out pretty early, and right now I am seeing, let's pull this up here. Shout out to those of you that voted via Twitter. Right now we've got 4% of you that are skipping Raw this week. 12% of you are getting it a thumbs up. 31% of you are staying in the middle, and 54% of you are giving it a thumbs down. Meanwhile, on Facebook, my allergies are killing me, man. Let's see here. Facebook, how we doing? Okay, not too shabby. Facebook right now, we got about 80% that's giving the show a thumbs up. So that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. And was anybody else able to figure out if what Cody Rhodes had said was a hoax? We still need to know. Somebody let me know if Cody Rhodes was just pulling people's legs, man. I'm going to get into some plug-in right now as we get ready to wrap up the show. If you haven't done so already, sign up, patreon.com/RCWR Show. It's a new month. That means new content. Been sidetracked the past couple of weeks with the WrestleMania hype and everything. Things aren't really going to finally start slowing down for me to focus on Patreon content until after WrestleMania, but still, it's going to be a nice solid month. A lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming your way. We're going to be giving you guys some exclusive Awesome Con footage. As for the third consecutive year in a row, the RCWR show is coming on back to the nation's capital at the Washington Convention Center, April 26th through the 28th for Awesome Con. It is where cinema, pop culture, sci-fi, everything, TV, film, you name it, everything collides, comics, everything just collides into this beautiful event known as Awesome Con. Myself and Tammy will be there. You see us, come on by, say hello. We're going to be giving away some really cool prizes. It's always awesome coming there and interacting with different folks. We've already got a couple of planned interviews lined up, so look forward to that. Going to be a lot of exclusive stuff shared via the Patreon page. We also got upcoming new 30 with Lee episodes. We're definitely going to be talking about the new Avengers Endgame movie, a whole lot more that's going to be coming your way all this month in April. So sign up, get exclusive access to bonus audio and video content. Patreon.com/RCWR Show for just $5 a month. Also, a lot of the wrestling promotions that we are going to be covering is going to be shared with our Patreon audience. A lot of that is going to be exclusive to our Patreon family. So do sign up, $5 a month. Can't beat that. Good deal right there. And for the rest of the week, so Tuesday night, we're going to be live. We're going to be coming at you all with a new RCWR show. You know how we do it on the RCWR show. We go a bit all over the place. We'll definitely be talking about the SmackDown, final SmackDown going into WrestleMania. We'll also talk about the latest in wrestling headlines, all of that. Again, you know how we do it. Comes on after SmackDown goes off the air. And then Friday is the NXT TakeOver event special. We'll be live as soon as that concludes. Now, the way I'm going to be doing that, I'm going to have the post show be available live, YouTube audience, and our Discord audience. All right. If you're a long-time listener, you know, I'm like this. If you've been a long-time listener for maybe at least, God, if you've been a long-time listener for at least 3 months or more, you can definitely hit me up on Twitter, even on YouTube. Leave a comment, say, hey, Lee, I'd like to get Discord access. You know, if you leave me some type of way to contact you directly so I can PM you the link, I'll definitely hook you up. But at this point, it's going to be Discord and YouTube, we're going to do a NXT TakeOver show. Saturday night is the WWE Hall of Fame. I will be live after the Hall of Fame event concludes. I will be live here on YouTube. That'll be a YouTube and Discord exclusive. And then WrestleMania Sunday, you know the deal. We're going to be all over the place on WrestleMania Sunday, even streaming on Facebook as well. Everything pretty much wraps up next Monday, the Monday after WrestleMania. I'll be here on YouTube exclusively with a post WrestleMania Raw edition, because you know usually things get popping on that Raw after WrestleMania. And then after that, we're going to take the rest of the week off. I think I might take a week and a half vacation after that. I don't know. I think honestly at this point, just do that Monday. I'm good the rest of the week. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so we got a lot of great content that's going to be coming your way. We're definitely going to be looking at what's going on with the New Japan Pro Wrestling, ROH, G1 Supercard. We're definitely going to be talking about that on Tuesday's show, but that's one of the promotions we're going to be covering. I think MLW is supposed to be doing something as well. I believe Shine and Shimmer are supposed to be doing their yearly thing as well, their yearly collaboration as well. So there's a lot of promotions that we're going to be talking about, and we'll dive all into it on the card for this Tuesday show. So you haven't subscribed, do subscribe, because you don't want to miss all of that. Cario doing pretty good. Danny, shout out to Danny. Danny said, thank you for keeping it real, not being a YouTube WWE shill. This was a generic Raw. Didn't feel like a WrestleMania go-home show at all. They even threw a segment in that wasn't related to Mania. Yeah, I definitely would agree. It was a really weak Raw. It really was. It did not feel like a go-home show at all to WrestleMania. It did not feel like that at all. And with some of those players that I mentioned earlier that weren't even there, a brief backstage shitty cameo by Roman Reigns, that, you know, you really should have done a lot more and really sold the hell out of WrestleMania. Of all the WrestleMania go-home build-ups over the years, this has to be a recent memory that I can recall one of the weakest, right? Maybe I would dare say one of the weakest in the 2000s so far. Just thinking about the first 20 years, you know, now that we've been in this new millennium and everything, you know, just thinking about 2000 to now, I would have to say that this has probably been one of the most weakest go-homes to WrestleMania. And it's quite sad. I almost forgot. There was a backstage interviewer that cracked me the hell up. If you want to laugh, check this out when you get a chance. But there was a backstage interviewer that was talking to Roman Reigns. And she didn't say Drew McIntyre. She said Drew McIntyre. And I had to, wait a minute, I was playing a tablet game and I actually had to rewind it back to hear. Tell me I didn't just hear that. I had to pull a Booker T. Tell me she didn't just say that. I rewinded it back and sure enough, she said Drew McIntyre. And I lost my shits giggling. It's like, wow. How do you mess up McIntyre? Were you that intimidated by the good looks of one Roman Reigns? It's like, it's all good. We all have an off night. It's all good, man. But Michael Cole kind of cleaned it up a little bit because Drew McIntyre had attacked Roman from behind, was beating the crap out of him. You got Michael Cole coming in there saying, oh, Drew McIntyre, right? So he kind of saved it. I am hoping that Matthew from Botchamania picks up on that because I'm curious how he would just make fun of that, right? Because he does a really good job whenever there's a miscue or mispronunciation, misspelling and all that. He usually does a really good job in highlighting that. But good stuff. Shout out to Gino. J-Rock. I saw the segment with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. All I got to say is wow, and I'm looking forward to the match. Yeah, you know, honestly, I think we all could be in agreement. That should have closed out Monday Night Raw for tonight. That would have been perfect because then you have this element, right? See, this is where, okay, you've got all of these writers and nobody is thinking like this. Let's have people talking. All these three girls get arrested. Well, damn. So what does this mean for the triple threat match at WrestleMania? Is this match still on? Are these girls going to be able to get out in time for this WrestleMania match? What exactly is going on here? We need, folks, we got to go. Hopefully we'll get answers on Tuesday SmackDown. Check it out right here on the USA Network. You could have easily done something like that and it would have made all the sense in the world to have Stephanie McMahon pop up on SmackDown the very next night, right? Hey, you know, we're hearing from Stephanie McMahon. She's going to give us an update on, you know, what happened with Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey. She's going to let us know what's going on, because the way it seems right now, this WrestleMania main event match, it looks like it could be in jeopardy or whatnot. You could have at least done it like that just to continue it. And but despite that, that should have closed out Raw, not Baron Corbin, Rey Mysterio. Even though you had the spot there where Baron's celebrating, Kurt comes from behind, that struggling angle slam and all that, I could have done without all of that, but whatever, man, it's all good. Nobody is saying whether or not the Cody Rhodes thing was fake, so, you know, nobody is saying it in the chat. So before I go, let's just type this in, right? Because I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. It turns out Kurt Angle was just trolling people. But the way it's looking right now, see here. It doesn't look like Cody Rhodes is trolling people. Doesn't look like it. And I'm checking out his latest tweets just to confirm. And let's look here. Yeah. Okay. So to give Cody Rhodes credit. Hang on. Give me a second here, guys. Okay, so to give Cody Rhodes credit. Okay. All right, I'm looking at his timeline here. Okay, so 3 hours ago, he made the announcement that Chris Cyborg is going to be coming to Starrcast. Oh, I would love to meet her. She is fucking badass. God, I would love to meet her. Yeah, I like Chris Cyborg. That chick don't play, man. All right, so he made that announcement, and then right after that, he said, I'm going to scoop a Starrcast events announcement. Y'all want in? And then he followed it up with, okay, so it's legit. I'm sure by the time we all wake up in the morning, everybody's going to be like, Kurt Angle, Starrcast, because right now, it doesn't look like any other wrestling sites is picking up on that. So I'll say this gives us all something to marinate on until I come back with you guys Tuesday night, right? It's very well possible. I'm just saying. I hope the pettiness doesn't kick in like that. But it's very well possible that Kurt Angle could lose in his farewell match at WrestleMania. It's very well possible that if at some point the idea was to have somebody else go in Baron Corbin's place and freaking take on Kurt Angle and give him the great big send-off. I'm just saying, it's very well possible, as a fuck you to Kurt Angle, it's possible that WWE could have Baron Corbin beat Kurt Angle. I'm just saying, something to think about. I hope I'm wrong. Lord, I hope I'm wrong. You know, but we've heard some stories from wrestlers in the past about how petty WWE can be. So, I'm just saying, that's something to think about, right? Y'all marinate on that. We'll talk more about that on Tuesday night, all right? So for now, that's going to do it. Be kind, rewind. Check out previous episodes of the RCWR show you may have missed. I have pumped out a lot of interesting content. If you guys are fans of RPG games, I have put out a couple of videos talking about the new Elder Scrolls video game. It's in beta mode right now, beta early access, but I've been playing it a bit, so there's a couple of videos on the YouTube channel right now that you could check out. What else is on there? I think there's a couple of show excerpts that I uploaded as well. Poke around. There's a lot of fun content that you can stick your head into that'll keep you tied over until I come back. I will say this, as I'm getting ready to wrap up the stream. I'm not being long-winded or anything. It's just a train of thought that I just had now. I will be live on Twitch in the next hour or so. For those of you that can't sleep, twitch.tv RCWR Show. I'm going to be playing some more the Division 2. So if you guys just want to kick back, I may talk some shit as I'm playing the game. You may just be watching me play the game. I don't know if I'm going to talk yet, so we'll see. But yeah, check out all that stuff. Good stuff. That'll tie you over. I will be back here later tonight, Tuesday night, April 2nd, 2019. Soon as SmackDown goes off the air, I'll join you all for that then. And until next go round, hey, if you enjoyed this episode, please, man, show the ultimate support. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. Much love as always. Appreciate those of you that had joined me here in the chat. And shout out to Cody. Cody here. Cody, I'm sorry, brother. I just now caught you there in the Discord there, buddy. Sorry about that. And shout out to Joe Cool and everybody else. All right, guys. Much love. And we'll do this for you all in a little bit. Until next go around, wishing all y'all to be safe and most importantly be kind to one another. Adios.